What's up, sports fans, and welcome back to Slice of Sports. Before I go on my rant and rave about last night's Yankees debacle, I just want to apologize for not being on the air a little bit more often. I haven't been on since basically the Super Bowl of this year, which the Buccaneers won, but you know what? That doesn't even matter right now. Between COVID and life and my job and my kids, I haven't had a chance to record many videos, but last night was the straw that broke the camel's back. I could not believe what I witnessed last night. I took my 9-year-old son to the game T, and I went with my friend Mikey G and his kid, and we're all excited. Maybe, you know what, we thought maybe not such a good shot of winning that game last night because Ohtani was pitching, and Ohtani's a phenomenal pitcher and phenomenal hitter, so we figured maybe we'd just see something phenomenal in baseball, something we've never seen before, something we haven't seen since Babe Ruth, a great pitcher and a great hitter on the field at the same time. But do you know what? The Yankees spoiled that. Yankees spoiled that in the bottom of the first inning by scoring 7 runs. And we're all excited. My kid's excited. My friend's excited. His kid's excited. All the fans in the stands who are Yankee fans are going nuts. We're all excited. We're up 7-2 after the first inning. Then all of a sudden, Domingo Germán can't get people out in the early innings. And then there's a rain delay. And then it's 7-3. And then it's 7-4. And then there's a second rain delay and it's 7-5. So you know what? My kid, who's 9 years old, he can't take it. So he's like, you know what, Daddy, let's go home. So we hopped on the train and we get home. I come home in the 9th inning and I have to witness that debacle from Aroldis Chapman. I cannot believe that Aroldis Chapman blew that game, giving up 7 runs. Yeah, I know Lucas Licky gave up the big bomb. Doesn't matter. Aroldis Chapman gave up those runs. He gave up 7 runs in that top of the 9th inning, and the Yankees lose that game 11-8. This Yankees team is severely flawed. There is no other way to describe it. Brian Cashman has not built this team properly. Aaron Boone has not managed this team properly, and I was ticked off to begin with going into last night's game because in a must-win game for this New York Yankees team that's struggling to get wins, all of a sudden Aaron Judge has to sit. Gio Urshela has to sit down. Well, he needed a day. Come on. You want to rest one guy because, yeah, they're physically banged up like Urshela? I get it. That's fine. But you rest 2 guys on the same night against a good pitcher in Ohtani. Yeah, we didn't need him against Ohtani, but we needed him the rest of the game. Where was he? He was sitting on the bench because he needed a day. The guy's in the prime of his life, the prime of his career, and all of a sudden he needs a day. This Yankees team is pitiful. Absolutely pitiful. They're 0-6 against the Red Sox. I don't know how bad their exact record is against the rest of the American League East, aside from the Orioles, but it's bad. They can't beat anybody of note. They beat garbage teams left and right. Okay, fine. That doesn't do you much good when you're a 41-39 baseball team with a payroll over $200 million. This team is severely flawed, and changes need to be made. Look, I wasn't a huge fan of the Aaron Boone hiring to begin with, but his first 2 years, he won over 100 games. Last year, even with the struggles and only playing 60 games, this team made the playoffs and made a run to the second round of the playoffs. That's all well and good, but you know what? This team, as it's currently constructed and as with Aaron Boone as its manager, will not win anything. I've seen enough evidence over the past few years to show me that this team is not winning. This team is not winning. And it's simple as that. With a $200-something million payroll, you've got to be winners. I'm on the fire Boone bandwagon, and you know what? I always thought that the Yankees would never get rid of Brian Cashman because of all the success he's had with the late 90s and early 2000s teams. But you know what? Maybe it might be time to consider getting rid of Brian Cashman. I'm not calling for Cashman's head right now, but this team is not constructed properly. Let's see what Cashman does at the trade deadline. Maybe he can fix things up, but I am irate with this team. All of a sudden, Garrett Cole can't pitch because he can't have sticky stuff on his hands? What, are you kidding me? Aaron Judge needs a break every 5 days, even when he's actually one of our best hitters on the team right now. Clint Frazier gets dizziness in the 3rd inning. Now, look, these guys are human. If they're hurt, they need to rest. That's fine. But you know what? This team has to be able to be tougher than this and come through. And you know what? I got this shirt on, 2358. It's an Iron Maiden song called 2 Minutes to Midnight. Right now, this Yankees team is 2 minutes to midnight from having this season done. We are 27 days away from football starting up, and you know what? I'm looking forward more to that than I am to watching today's Yankees game against the Anaheim Angels. This team is atrocious, and there will be major changes, and if there aren't major changes, they are going to lose fans, and they're going to lose money. And one more thing about money with the Steinbrenners. I understand they don't want to go over the luxury cap, the luxury tax money, have to pay some kind of luxury tax. That's all well and good. But you know what? Spend some money. The biggest advantage the New York Yankees have ever had has been their financial might. And you know what? They're not using it properly. If the Tampa Bay Rays can win with $60 million, we certainly can win with $200 million, okay? So I don't want to hear about, oh, we have to stay under this luxury tax. Yeah, that's all well and good for you guys, the Steinbrenners, but we, the fans who pay everything, We have to suffer through that unwatchable garbage that we've had half of this season. The Yankees had one good streak where they won, whatever it was, eight out of 9 or 9 in a row, something like that. That was the one good streak they've had the entire season. And now we've got pitchers hurting left and right with Kluber and Britton getting hurt again, and Wilson and O'Day just coming back after being hurt for who knows how long. We got guys who are hurt, guys who are underperforming severely. We have an entire lineup where nobody's batting any higher than 260. Are you kidding me? An entire lineup with a $200 million payroll, and you can't find one guy who's going to bat over 260. Judge is our best hitter on the team, but he needs a day off. We need to rest him every time he plays 3-4 days in a row. Come on, give me a break. You want to give him a day off? Give him today off, the day after the night game, and rest Urshela last night, play Urshela today, play Judge yesterday, sit him today. You got to know how to manage the line. If I can know how to manage the lineup, my boy Mikey G and Louis V and all my other friends know how to run a lineup and run a team. How come the New York Yankees can? How come Aaron Boone has to be slave to some sort of stats that, you know what, nobody really knows about and nobody really cares about? And now, again, that's also on Brian Cashman. Brian Cashman wants to be all analytics based. That's all well and good. But you know what? You got to win. You got to win. If you're doing all this analytics stuff and you're not winning, I don't care about any of that analytics stuff. You got to make major changes to this team. And I know this may not be a popular one right now because he's actually, again, one of the Yankees hitting better. But I think the biggest way to start is as soon as Gary Sanchez's his profile is high enough and his bat is high enough, trade him. Trade him for as much as you can get. The guy, I think right now he's hitting great, and I'm happy that he's actually hitting the ball right now. But most of the year he's batted about 180, 190. The last 2 seasons he's been absolute garbage behind the plate and at the plate as a batter. This needs to change. Look, this slice of sports has no form to it. It has no structure to it. It is just me ranting and raving about the Yankees because you know what? I am pissed off with this team. 41-39 is not acceptable for the New York Yankees. We're not a rebuilding franchise. We're not a team that's, struggling to break in some new guys. We've got players. We've got money. And to see what they put out on the field every single night, at least the past, 2 months, is pathetic. I love my New York Yankees. I will never abandon them. But what I see right now is virtually unwatchable baseball. And that is unacceptable, especially, again, for the 27-time world champion New York Yankees. This is unacceptable. Anyway, like and share this video. Do whatever you want with it. I'm done with this Yankee team. I hope to be recording more soon because you know what? I actually have some optimism about the Jets. I actually have some optimism about the Knicks, even though they lost in 5. I got lots of other stuff to talk about, but this Yankee team just got me today. Anyway, peace out.